It's hard to underestimate it's hard to overestimate Madison's significance, because I think it's now well established in our jurisprudence that we begin our analysis by looking at what the Constitution says and looking in particular for today's program at what the Bill of Rights says. He wrote these things, but I also would pick up on one of the themes that our previous panel was talking about. Madison was a pragmatist. He changed his mind over the years. He thought more deeply as experience shed light on what these words might mean and what they could mean. And so I take a lot of insight from the course of his thinking, as well as the particular words he put on the page about various provisions, whether it was freedom of religion provisions, whether it was freedom of speech, whether it was questions about the relation between the national government and the states. And remember, he begins all of this as a young man at Princeton before the Revolutionary War, convinced, number one, that the colonies should work together, number two, that there should be a strong national presence, and then during the Articles of Confederation period, he's just distraught at the dysfunctionality of the government. So his bottom line is that the national government's very important, and then there are refinements to how that national government ought to work that he works on literally for the rest of his life.
So he's got a set of principles, but his sense of how to implement those principles evolves over time based on experience.
Based on experience, and based on, I think, an incredible ability to learn from others, whether it's from reading things or whether it's from the many distinguished people with whom he worked.
Judge Jordan, when you think of Madison, what do you think of?
I think it's, if you were looking for evidence, maybe I'm going too fast to the religion cases.
We'll get there.
Yeah, if you want to look for the hand of divinity, you can readily find evidence of it in the appearance of James Madison on the scene, because he's just an extraordinary character and the right person for the right moment in history. He has this remarkable blend of capacity to think deeply and a desire to think deeply about political structure. He's thinking about the flaws in the national government long before the Constitutional Convention in 1787. He gets a trunk full of books from Jefferson and reads them and digests them and thinks about and ponders on these things. And the investment of his remarkable intellect, absorbing all this information that, as Professor Newborn was talking about, ends up getting blended with practical experience. So he's both a deep-thinking theorist and an extraordinarily precocious and skilled practitioner of practical politics. And I think that's a very rare combination, somebody who's really very deeply thoughtful and also committed to getting things done.